Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Simon, and welcome to another episode of Andor. This is episode number 6, and quite ironically, it is titled exactly the same as the last episode of The Rings of Power. This is called The Eye. Clearly, in that show, there is a reason for the Eye being an important icon and figure, but in this show, less so. But this is the third episode of this second mini arc, and you can see the formula that's starting to appear now, where you'll have 3 episode arcs. The first 2 will be setting up the action that is to come in the third episode. Obviously, in the first 3, it was, the raid by the security forces on Cassian's home planet. I say home planet, but, the planet where he's living. And in this, it's now the raid on the Imperial base to go and get all of that money. I've seen a lot of posturing and hypothesizing online that people don't think that all of these rebels are going to make it. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if there were some casualties. I mean, I've seen it range from one person will die to they will all die, and Cassian will be the only one who survives. And yeah, anything in between could happen. We know that Cassian will survive because clearly he has to live to die later. Plus, he's the main character. He's not going to die, But, I would love for them to actually keep these guys alive. I'm not normally one to advocate for plot armor, but, when you develop a connection, like I think we have in this very short space of time, I would really like to see these guys a bit more, get to know them a bit more, get to see more screen time with them. Because, I think they're a very unique and likable group. Also, lesbians. There is a lesbian couple. And for once, Star Wars... I mean, I say this like they're having an open pride parade, and they're having, like, them, be all over each other, in open displays of, equality. But they're not really. It's like subtle hints just to say that, yeah, these two ladies are a couple. Again, keeping it as subtle as Disney wants to without upsetting a part of its audience, i.e. the conservatives or China. Whether this is even being aired in China, I don't know. We go back to The Rise of Skywalker, where they cut out that very small token scene of the two ladies kissing for the Chinese markets. With a series, it's probably, with characters that are recurring, it's probably a little bit less easy to do, so that's why I'm not sure whether this is airing in China or not. But, I get the horrible feeling they're going to kill the lesbians. Because that's what Disney does, It is a machine that says, look at me, I'm making all these diverse and, real characters. And then it's like, boom, I killed your real and diverse characters because that's how I balance things. That is the compromise, as they say. So we'll have to see. But, I have loved the show so far. Last episode was so great on so many levels. It had such depth to it, and some of the directing and some of the the camera shots are just great, absolutely brilliant. And we're learning a lot about characters. Mothma's husband has had about 3 scenes, and he's already become one of the most hated men. In the whole Star Wars fandom. Cyril Khan went from being like, this character that I think everyone hated because he was the typical kind of, SWAT, like the teacher's pet. But then we go and see his mother and learn a bit about his backstory, and now we're starting to sympathize with him a bit. At least I am. I don't know about you guys, but I can sympathize. So, again, it's just got such great depth. And, it's not for everyone. People want to have every episode be boom, boom, shooty, shooty lightsabers. But, for me, I really love the slow build. I love the character-driven stuff. And that's what this has been so far. So, yes, we're going to watch it. Hopefully we'll have a good chat afterwards about, dissecting the episode. And everyone is still alive. But we'll have to wait and see. So we're going to jump in and watch the episode.
The excitement will kick in.
The adrenaline.
I understand why my faith doesn't calm me. I believe in something. Why am I so unsettled? I mean, you have nothing. You sleep like a stone.
Wow.
Oh, I'm assuming that's not your real name anyway.
See,
The role of mercenaries
he is
relaxing
clever.
freedom. My conclusion is simple.
He's very clever.
Weapons are tools. Those that use them are, by extension,
I could have a whole show of
to
this
our best
kid
advantage.
just
The Empire has no moral
talking.
boundaries. Why should we not take hold of every chance we can, no matter what the reason?
Don't worry.
Oh god, he's gonna die.
You'll sleep when it's done.
Yeah, there's so many. You'll sleep when it's done, i.e., you'll die.
The Downies, they're simple people. Taverns with cheap local beverages. Quite predictably, what began as 500 pilgrims at the bottom has already dwindled down to... Where are we now, Lieutenant?
We counted 60 last night, sir. They may pick up some Highland stragglers along the way, but so far it's developing as we'd expected.
So they whittle them down.
15,000 out there.
What is that? And what is that?
Form up! Do it quietly!
I do like how they've not used stormtroopers yet. You know, essentially what we're seeing is
Tighten up. Eyes front.
conscripts.
They'll be here any minute. Patience was not the first thing that came to mind.
Again, too ignorant. Oh, he's just taking the piss. You know?
Hey, here comes another one!
See, I think that's a perfect metaphor for the Empire. They're happy to piss everywhere, but they aren't paying attention to what's around them.
Get ready. I think I hear two coming.
I see. Are they going to shoot down a TIE fighter? Create a distraction? Or is it meteors?
Let's go.
Yeah. Ah. That's a cool shot.
We trade goat hides for a 3-year lease. If they didn't smell so badly, it might be amusing. Come along, you two. The
They
Downies
trade
have
goat
rough
skin
up
for a lease.
Yes, I've been warned.
a bit of ceremonial nonsense.
I'm guessing that they don't have a choice.
Above the stench.
I love the pomposity of the Imperials. He got his belt on at least, you know. I wonder if he girdled up. The Imperial girdle.
No, they're shutting down right now.
Oh wow. One little swipe to the left and he sees the whole thing.
Val.
She loses that confidence. Yeah. When she's with just the person she loves, she loses that assured nature. Symbolic symbol. Symbolic symbol? I was going to say symbolic of their feelings for the Empire.
It's not as if there's much Aldani civilization we even forget about in the first place.
Drop
Oh.
it. On the floor.
What's all this?
Uh-oh.
Drop it there.
Okay.
Where's that tanner
The
gone?
plan is in action.
Down!
Nobody has to die.
Oh, jeez. Okay, he had to die. He's very lucky that the shot went off after he fell.
One choice. We win or everyone dies. Starts now.
See, that confidence is back. Once she's in it, she's in it. See, and I like the fact that we are seeing the viewpoint of the innocent family members. You know, there is a terror element to rebellions.
With the comms, try the English.
Hands away from the console.
Get up! Now!
There's a lot of people that they have to control with just 2 blasters. It might be best stunning some people.
If we get what we came for, everyone walks away. But if we go down, you're right there with us.
14 minutes.
To be fair, I feel like if they get what they want and he lives, he's gonna die by the hand of the Empire. They don't look at failure well, especially if it costs them money. They're not brave enough to give him a kiss. Because Disney has to do everything by half measures.
Clear. Vel, take him.
Move.
This is clever as well because it gives Lieutenant Gorman you know, plausible deniability, you know, because at the end of the day, they still don't know he's involved.
Anyone doesn't want to hustle for the next 10 minutes? Raise your hand.
Clever.
All right, up! Up!
Get the troops to do it for you.
Power.
Oh, look at that! The gate opened!
I can't unlock the trace. It takes a signal from Altenzi.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Get ready. Mackenzie should be calling in soon.
Why is it the Empire has to have the only competent Imperial in the whole galaxy, and he's in that comms room? Damn. They haven't even gotten through the first column yet. Oh, wow. As a lover of meteor showers, this is something I'd love to see. That is spectacular. That's cool. Yes! TIE pilots!
I am giving you a direct order, Corporal.
Just shoot him! Oh, he's having a heart attack. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I think Gorman's dead. Oh, my guy, come on. Oh, nice shot. Oh, no. What about the other girl? What about the other woman? Sorry, I don't know the names at this point. I should have learned them. Oh, wow. No! Oh, no. Please be okay. That's a beautiful shot, but... Oh, yeah, and especially if that's all dangerous material. He's doing it. He's doing it. Yeah, fuck you, TIE fighters. They're clear. Thank God she got out. It's gorgeous.
It's not fair.
Where are we heading?
She wants to bail on him.
He's dying.
You don't know that.
I'll bail on one of your own.
Doctor, we have it built into the contingency. She doesn't want to jeopardize the mission.
80 million credits.
What'd you tell me?
That is a lot.
Win and walk away. Well, 40 million apiece.
Oh, is this a test? This has got to be a test.
Thought about it. Me against everybody else.
No. You don't make a speech like that, saving the young lad, and then turn on them.
Enough for me to forget all about you. Catch our breath.
Then he kills you.
Split up the winnings.
Okay, it wasn't a test. At least, I hope to God it wasn't. That's gonna look so awkward now.
For trying.
What do you mean for trying? Don't you dare kill him. Oh, you... I hate this.
He said to give this to you.
I don't want it.
He insisted.
Come on, take it. See, I'm willing to bet that medical stim, whilst it brought him around, I'm willing to bet that that did not help his survival odds.
We've been hearing from the other side.
There will be a fact
So many
finding
empty
commission put
seats.
in place this session to the throats of all Gormans.
This reminds me
Done
of the
nothing
British
more
Parliament.
than request their basic rights.
Important issues and there's no one
My
there.
bill assails the coarse and blatant domination of a peaceful and faithful ally.
And the Emperor's definitely not there.
Your own secret language.
Got anything from Aldani?
Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
Aldani.
Look. Maybe we have something in the back.
He hasn't heard anything on the radio. That's why he's suddenly concerned. But he knows it's worked. Okay, so I was wrong. They didn't kill the lesbians. Though they still aren't brave enough to, you know, allow them any kind of physical intimacy, other than the odd touching of the hand. But they did kill Nemec, and that is... Ugh. Like, he is the one who I didn't want them to kill. Because he had such an intelligent way of talking, you know? He was such an interesting character. Like, I didn't really care too much about the rest of them. Like, you know, they were, you know, interesting characters. And, you know, certainly, yes, you can connect to them. But, you know, he was the one who I wanted to see more of. Learn more about. You know, let him spread his manifesto. But, you know, one thing this show is it's ruthless. It's not afraid to show the darker side of the rebellion and, you know, the cutthroat nature of, you know, humanity. And that's what this was. You know, it showed you a couple of different sides of the rebellion here. And it showed you the impact of a rebellion. You know, it showed you that, yes, it's dangerous and that things aren't always going to go to plan. And, you know, not everyone is going to make it. It showed you that not everyone is as they say they are. You know, I honestly thought that when they were talking about splitting the money, that it was a test for Cassian. You know, like a final test of loyalty. But he kept going on and on and on. And, you know, the one thing that we know about Cassian is that, whilst, yeah, he's not the best person in terms of, you know, his morality, but he does have principles and he's got honour. You know, and he knew that he was owed a certain amount. And I don't think he has it in his heart to betray, you know, people or go back on his word. The other side of the rebellion we saw was the Terror side. That family of the Imperial officer. They're innocent, you know. They're just a family. You know, it's just a wife and a kid. And you see how terrified they are when these mysterious, violent rebels storm the base, take their husband and father captive, hold them at gunpoint. And that kind of activity, those kind of actions, especially on a young boy, can have lasting impacts. That's how you create fanatics for the Empire. In a way, the Rebellion is a creator of some of its own worst enemies. Because very much like how Cassian would have been heavily influenced by the actions of the Republic in his youth, when, you know, we saw whoever they were in that ship kill one of his friends. And presumably more happens on his home planet. You know, those actions created Cassian's very hatred towards the Empire as it is now. Just as Cassian's actions and the Rebellion's actions will create probably that young boy's hatred for the Rebellion. So the people involved on one side or the other, when, you know, severe action is taken, they're always pushed further into their camp. And, you know, unfortunately, this is the only way that they can operate. But I like how it shows you the consequences of, you know, running a rebellion, of the people who aren't necessarily directly involved in the Empire's nefarious plots and actions. It's again, it's a love story to the morality of war and to, you know, the dark side of revolutions. Because that's what this is. You know, we are seeing a real-time revolution. It's just happening over a sort of slower pace than, you know, we got in the films. It's the building blocks to that eventual rebellion. And the sacrifices that are made here, you know, you never really understood that when you first watched the Star Wars films. But now we are learning so much more about, you know, the people who died to make the rebellion what it was. And we're understanding that the Empire isn't necessarily just made up of all bad people. You know, it's made up of people who are everyday Joes, who are families, you know, of people involved. Yes, there is definitely the evil at the top. There is the corruption that goes along with an evil empire. And there is the blind loyalty that can go along with a military fascist state. But there is the human side to it as well. And that's, you know, what we're seeing here. What I really liked as well about the last couple of shots on Coruscant is that you learn so much about, firstly, the current state of the politics and the lack of power of the Imperial Senate. And it really reminded me of British Parliament, when Mon Mothma was speaking to the mostly empty Senate hall. People weren't really paying attention, you know, and it's a really important issue. She's talking about oppression. She's talking about the impacts of the Empire on a local system. And most senators aren't bothered to show up. The ones that are there aren't paying attention. So ultimately, nothing happens, nothing gets done. And that's exactly how British Parliament works. You know, you see that, if it's a vote on MP expenses, everyone will be there, everyone will have an opinion. But if it's a vote on, you know, free school lunches for kids, you'll get a couple. You know, you might get some impassioned voices, but you'll get a lot of apathy and disinterest. So it's again translating real life into that Star Wars universe and showing you the state of that government and how powerless that Senate is. And that final shot with Luthen, where he's still going about his daily business. You know, he's clearly not heard from anyone on the radio. I think that's the last thing on their mind at the moment, is letting Luthen know what's going on. But he knows finally that the plan worked, that the attack was successful. And you can just see the load off his shoulders. You can just see the relief, knowing that, you know, firstly, it succeeded and it's not going to fall back on him. And that now they've got a fuck ton of money, 80 million credits, minus the 50,000, I think, that, you know, Cassian has claimed as his own. So, yeah, unfortunate that so many members of that rebellion had to die. Lieutenant Gorman, you know, I liked him. That line, 7 years serving under you, I deserve worse. You know, I wonder if the Commandant died of a heart attack, because he was definitely having a heart attack. He'd deserve it. I mean, I think, should he survive it, the Empire is probably just going to kill him anyway, because they will not take kindly to that failure. And he is ultimately the man in charge. But again, this episode, you know, obviously really good storytelling, much more action-focused, you know, which is great. It was action done in the right way in terms of, you know, the methodical build-up to it, showing you each step of the plan and how even the Empire has competent people. That comms guy, the one competent Imperial in the universe, you know, got around and intercepted their radio comms, and that's why everyone went Pete Tong. You know, it does show you that, you know, there is competent people on both sides, and you know, the hitch in the plan caused people to die. Some beautiful visuals as well. That the eye itself is awesome. That's the kind of thing that you would want to experience at least once in your life. You know, unless you're a TIE fighter pilot. In that case, it is the only time. that you get to see it because you get smashed to bits. But again, beautiful visuals, really good storytelling. Just sad that Nemik died, you know? Really look forward to seeing more of him. But it will be interesting to see where Cassian goes from here, because he's apparently detached himself from the rebellion once again. So it makes you wonder if Luthen's going to attempt to try and track him down, or if he himself will now try and push his own rebellion, or, you know, what does he want to do? Is he going to go back home? I don't think he can. He's still a wanted man. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you for the next one.